Hiya guys, Sam Spencer here. I get this question all the time. People are thinking about investing in property, but then people say to them, why would you want a buy-to-let property? Why would you want a property to rent out as an investment? In this video, I'm going to give you some of the reasons why my clients buy lots and lots and lots of investment properties. Reason number one is as a second income or another stream of income. And if you've looked recently, you'll see the government have reduced the base interest rate down to 0.25% from 0.75. So if people have got money sitting in the bank, people have got savings, you're now finding that that savings year on year is becoming worth less because the inflation rate is higher than the interest rate that you're getting. So 10 grand, 20 grand, 30 grand in the bank today is going to be worth less in years to come. Okay, that's not to say you should send yourself broke by putting all your money in property. Absolutely not. You need a war chest held back, but some people have that money available to them that could create a second income. And if, for example, something happened in their lives, they reduced income in their primary job, for example, this can really help them out as a buffer. The second reason is pensions. So pensions can hugely vary in their success and returns, maybe based on location, based on employment, based on management, and there's no real guarantee that when your retirement hits, that amount of money that you have will cover your cost of living. You also have to consider inflation in that as well. Now, buy-to-let property can be a fantastic supplement to this when managed correctly, can provide solid, almost instant returns on your money. So this allows the buy-to-let property to supplement or support that retirement fund to ensure you have a happy, stress-free, hassle-free retirement. The third reason is some people are working towards early retirement, so the clever investor spots opportunity. Investing in property can be that opportunity, and over a period of time, if invested correctly, can rival a salary, and when managed by a superior letting agent, can be pretty much hands-free. I think it's probably as close to a passive income as you're ever going to get, even though I hate that phrase. And if you are choosing a letting agent, make sure you go with one who you trust. Obviously, they must have a competitive rate. However, don't just be driven by price. Ask them how they manage the property. How often do they go and do inspections on the property? What checks do they do? This is really, really important to ensure it's as hands-free for you as possible, because ultimately, you don't want another job. One of the most compelling reasons that my clients talk about is their children's future and their legacy. So they want to build something up in the background, so when their children grow up, maybe they go to university, maybe they go into the working world, then they've got this solid foundation that can be handed on to them, that will provide them and continue to provide them a supplementary income. And UK property can be that investment. So, in the short term, it might be a safe and well-returning income for the parents. But depending on where you buy, some clients maybe want to buy where their children may or may not go to university locally. So initially, it could be a secondary income for the parent. Then it could be a safe, convenient location for the child to live when they do and if they do go to university. Or it could be then handed down to them and create a second supplementary income for that child. The next reason is better returns. Now, time and time again, property has been shown to create superior returns to many of its competitors. Now, obviously, if you're comparing that to the bank, it's getting much, much better returns from your 0.25% return. Property can provide you double-digit returns on your money, which is absolutely fantastic. And property typically will pay you three ways. So, number one, if you think about the demand in the UK, the government are 30% behind the rate in which they need to build houses. So what does this create for us? Well, it creates demand. So if you're thinking about one, getting the rent, number two, you think that rent really should be put up on a yearly basis in line with inflation, whereas your mortgage payments should stay relatively static for a period of 2 to 5 years, obviously if you're fixed. So in some instances, that return improves year on year. The third way you get paid is that historically, property goes up in value over time. So I remember I was speaking to my parents yesterday. They bought their first house in the 80s for £7,000 with a 3-bed semi in the Midlands. And now that same house is worth £250,000. Absolutely crazy. So property goes up in value over time, which is really, really important. Additionally, properties are tangible assets. So many of my clients like property because they can physically touch the actual property. They can go and kiss it if they want to, which can't be said for things that are obviously in other non-tangible assets. And because it is bricks and mortar, a physical asset, it can have repairs and renovations which could add value to that property. And then renovations and repairs are really in your hands, they're not dependent on the bank staying afloat. I think a lot of us will remember them iconic photos of people queuing outside Northern Rock. Obviously, if it's your property, it's under your control. Therefore, you can do renovations, repairs on it and add value to it as you wish. The last reason is to do with safety. So now any investment carries risk, that's the caveat. However, property has been shown to be a safer investment. If you look to the recent crash of 2007, 2008, 2009, property compared to other investments fared comparatively well. Now, not many investments can boast a 7% plus return on average over the last 30 years, whereas property can. And there's typically one main reason for this, is people always need somewhere to live. That's the bottom line. There's a demand there for people to have beautiful family homes. That's what we're looking to try and create in the buy-to-let market. So there's some reasons as to why would anybody buy an investment property. I hope this helps. Any questions, let me know, and I'll speak to you guys soon. Cheers.